Hello, hello. Just going live this afternoon. Got some time just to chat and give some updates on two things. Hello, Forever Remain 90 and Robbie are here. Hello. Couple cool things. A couple days ago, I ran a little test on the sound. Hey, Beatles, what's up, man? And Beatles, if you like to join me, give me a thumbs up and I'll ping you on Discord and bring you in because I've got some cool stuff to share. In fact, let me take a look over there. Discord is a nice way to bring somebody on. If I can figure out, oh, wait a second. I know what I'm doing. Let's ring Beatles and see if he's up for a chat. I think that's
Hey,
him.
hey, hey, hey.
What's up, man?
Nothing much.
I am just waiting to see who joins us. I've got a couple of things. I just got an I don't know. Did you maybe watch it later when I tested out the custom sounds and walk up music?
I did not. I have not had a chance yet to check that out.
What I found out is if you see, got my screen up here. I've got some walk-up music assigned to four of the Tiger players to test out. And what happened is it was playing fine, but
Hmm?
see these sliders for all the action? The plate music, no matter where I drug it, always was like louder, way too loud, right? And the slider didn't work. I pinged Dave Cook at Action and 2 days ago, and today, just about 30 minutes ago, he sent me a link to try out a patch, and immediately he
Oh,
fixed it.
cool. Nice.
So what's
He's
cool now is, when we're playing, sometimes we'll turn the game volume down or whatever when I'm broadcasting.
right.
Now the plate
Right.
music, I'll set it right about here, and it's really cool.
Nice.
Forever Remain 90 says, thought of recording some Ken Harrelson introductions and use them for walk on. Heck yeah, you can do it. And here's the cool thing. If you want plate music, if you don't want it, you just say none. And you can pick how long. So I just pick up 9 seconds because I recorded some different sounds to experiment with Audacity. And I think I
Mhm.
grabbed like 15 to 20-second clips. So,
Nice.
um,
You don't make sure don't go over 20 seconds because of copyright strikes.
oh, is
I don't
that
know.
a best practice you're sharing?
That's the law. Yep. You can use like something for 20 seconds. Like part if you're using part of a song,
Yeah.
um, 20 seconds. So it's under fair use. You can use 20 seconds. You go to 21 seconds, you can get a copyright strike.
Awesome. Well, that may be why some of the where the site I went to, the clips end
Mhm.
after like 15 or 17 seconds. So
That way you don't want to get dinged on
yeah,
the
I'm not out
copyright.
here looking to cause trouble.
Right, right. I am, but
Well, as far as you know.
right, right. As far as I know, exactly.
But I
20
was gonna
seconds.
run a little demo here of this to kind of show it. And what we found that's interesting um, is I've only set it for the first four batters. So when I go in here and set my lineup, I'm going to set it. I think it's Cobb, Donnie Bush, Crawford, and Delahanty, I think. And just to test it out and see how it does. Yeah, Robbie's saying you don't cause
The
trouble.
hell
He has great
the
faith in
hell
you.
I don't. The hell I don't.
But we've got this to try out, and then there are some other custom sounds I downloaded with the from the Action community that a guy, I think his name's Beer for Life. He put up like a custom sound pack, and I downloaded it into the sounds folder. And then the other day I was tweaking with some of the APC sounds they have for like vendors and hot dogs, and he has his own unique ones. So then I added some of those for variation. So kind of interested to check that out as well.
If there's anything you can't find that I can make custom for you, just let me know.
Oh yes, and I know you could. I found some 1920s theme stuff,
Huh?
and I might have one of them as an example for walk up. So let's get this party started
Nice.
here, and we can kind of see.
Let's do it. I love this picture of Polo Grounds.
And you know what I did?
I think
I
it's a,
Forever Remain 90 turned me on to Gigapixel, and I even ran this through Gigapixel, and it got a little sharper.
wow. I think this is the best looking ballpark I've seen in this game. It looks amazing.
So here's the three I went with, and I can change back and forth to show you. I went with this one that I have of Polo, the paint one, and then this one here. This is probably my favorite field right now.
Polo Grounds?
Yes,
Or that variation of the
that
Polo Grounds?
variation of it, yeah.
Oh, the variation. Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to computer lineup, and the first four, I know the four that I have put music in to listen to are right here. Delahanty will go Cobb and Crawford. We'll have to wait because one thing, it won't play walk-up music except for the home team. And then
Okay.
listen for when Honus Wagner comes up because I clicked him to boo when he's on the road just to test that out. So
my
since
God,
he's
that'll
on
be
the
fun.
road, he's going to get booed.
Nice.
Hear the boo? He's up to bat.
Play ball.
No, so I'm not getting your game sound. I don't know if the other guys are. I'm not getting it. It's weird.
Let me know. Somebody.
Yeah, do you guys hear the boo? I can't hear it, but that could be because we're on a Discord call. I can't hear because I have YouTube muted. That's why I can't hear it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be anticlimactic for you. Maybe I should let you go and you can go actually listen.
Oh, hang out, man.
Oh, cool.
Wait, there. Or Forever Remain 90. He said he heard it. Forever Remain 90 heard it.
Cool.
It's awesome.
So here's what we're going to do.
I just had it muted because if not, it'll bounce back.
Okay. You're sounding a little low.
There. Is that better?
Yes, it is.
All right.
So we'll get through their batters here, and then when the Tigers come up, home team, they'll all get walk-up music.
And what I'll do is at that point, I'll unmute YouTube just so I can
hear it. Yeah, you'll get a kick out of hearing those. And what I did notice, I mean, if you notice this too, Beatles, when you have super high resolution, sometimes these fouls and other things can slow down the animation. Hard hit ball up to Cobb. He's got it. So here's Bush.
I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic.
Okay.
I'm going to listen to YouTube for a minute.
All right. So I'm going to take the plate music down a little bit so it's not. See if this works in the game. Bush is up, so. That's walk-up music for Delahanty. So it seems like it's doing a good job of keeping it from being so loud like it was the other day. Ooh, that's a deep one, about 500 feet back. Here's Crawford.
Okay, walk up music, super cool. That is super cool. Definitely like it.
So now all the fun's over. So what do you think? Those are the 4 walk-up music people had assigned, so there's no more music coming up.
So you can't hear me?
I can hear you now. Now you're a little louder.
Okay, it's awesome. I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
And now what was missing the other day, and Dave fixed it, like, you can't beat action. I'm telling you.
Right.
And I guess nobody went in and played around with it, but it was just that the other sliders work really good, you know, for the game sounds and all that. But the one that we could not get this thing to be lower. So right now, kind of having the plate music toned down, it keeps it from being kind of overbearing. Sounds cool when it walks up. Somebody, I can't remember who it was, said that they had, might have been Tape Saturator was on, and said that they have with Audacity or something, they have a filter you can put on it so it makes it sound like all music has been filtered through a stadium speaker system.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do the same thing with my
Oh, Beetle. So what you're saying is I need to take you up on your offer.
pretty much. Yeah, I can even, if you know, like I was gonna surprise everybody doing a ball game some night. I can actually announce the lineups, and it would sound like I was announcing it in an actual ballpark.
Oh, that would be
And
awesome.
like when there was a pinch hitter, I would like punch that in and say, "Your attention, please. Now batting for blah 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 blah." Right? Yeah. So I could make it sound like
Yeah.
it's coming through stadium loudspeakers. I could make it sound like it's coming through whatever you want. Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
That will be fun. Custom sound. Some of the stuff we were looking at, I've never messed with Home Team Victory Song, but what I did is, they have all these sound effects. So the other day, let's see if they saved. I went and found different organ ditties. So the game will have like, you'll see here. I've added some different ones. It'll usually say APC because they have the ones that came with the file here, right? Like whatever organ music they have here, crowd organ, I think it's called, right?
Is the Stephen file extension are those MP3? I can't see.
MP3s. Yep.
Perfect. Good. Okay.
So here's like APC crowd organ 1. So we hear those, so you'll see a lot of these will be rotated. So they'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and they'll have 10 options so that it's about a 10% chance each plays. So the default for everybody's is going to be organs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I downloaded all the stuff from Beer for Life, so anything that doesn't have an APC in front of it are things that I've downloaded that he made available from the action site.
That's cool.
The community site. And then I've added a few things. But he has some, like the vendor. So if we go to vendor, we have Stadium Vendor 1 and 2.
Here. All right, I'll unmute so I can hear.
Okay. Here's some of the vendor stuff that we've added. Action, we've heard the hot dog guy for action, but here's some other ones we have.
Hot diggity dog, here I am in live living color. We got dog, and doggone dog. Up dog, down dog, underdog, over your dog, my dog, north, east, south, west, Ashland, here,
That's baseball for Windows.
Get your hot diggity dog right
You got that
here.
for baseball for Windows.
He took it, he must have clipped it or whatever and added it to the stuff we have, right? This one may be too.
That's baseball
Get
for
your
Windows.
hot dog right here. We got hot dog without the dog in it, just the bun.
That's baseball for Windows also.
Yeah, so maybe a lot of these, you'll probably be familiar with some of them. Scorecard, it's got to be, I wonder if this is the same thing.
Program scorecard, yeah. Program scorecard, yeah. And then the players for the program. Scorecard. Know the game. Scorecard.
Is that from the baseball for Windows 2?
No.
Soda.
Soda here. Soda. Who wants a soda? Cold soda. Ice cold soda.
So you can see what I've done. I've taken the APC ones that they automatically have by default, and I've started adding in some of these custom ones for different stadium vendor sounds, right?
Wait, 1 second. No, Robbie, you're misunderstanding. Dave Cook did not take that for baseball Windows. It was this guy Beer for Life. So,
Yeah, Beer for Life snipped stuff and made it available to the community. These are all add-on user stuff. Yeah, Dave Koch, anything here in there that says APC in front of it, as I look through my sound file, that's all stock action sounds. And that's how I know, you'll notice I've gone in here to change it. Like there's one for popcorn. I'm like, hey, let me add some different vendor sounds, right? So I started going through here to see what was available. And I haven't looked for my own to really add, but this was on that download from Beer for Life that he had some good stuff on here.
awesome.
So
That's awesome.
where's the popcorn at? It's pretty good.
Get your popcorn and peanuts right here. We got groupers and grabbers and hot dogs, all kind of popcorn that ain't been popped. You'll find it right in bad spot. Popcorn, peanuts.
Baseball for Windows.
Yep. Okay, so he grabbed some from there, no doubt. And let's see what.
Fans are reminded not to go on the field and not to interfere with baseballs still in play. Anyone going on the field or interfering with baseballs still in play will be requested to leave the stadium.
So there's just a lot of cool stuff. Now, the other thing you'll see is when I went in to the team roster and right-click on a player and selected to modify them and give them plate music, it saves their plate music here in the file. So here's Tommy Leach. Gosh, I don't know if I don't know if I got any AC/DC in here for you though, Beatles. I should have been smarter and had one of those queued up.
I knew you were going to.
I can't hear your reaction. You might be cursing. Your reaction might be cursing me right now.
No. No, I'm wondering. So that window that you have up right now.
Yep.
Just again for little niceties every once in a while in the ball game. Could you drag? Can you drag that? No, because I was going to say if you could drag that off to your other monitor, be able to close the other window, you could trigger any one of those at any time. Because that announcer, right? Anybody, right? But you can't, right? You're not going to be able to do that because you can't close it out of the window.
Right.
That sucks because you know what? Could you pull that other window off though? Could you as well? Could you still play the game?
Let's see if I go back to play.
Yeah.
It's gonna make me close this window because it's a sub window of this of custom sounds right here. But you know what I could do?
Just trigger those. Yeah, go ahead.
Watch this. I could go. Let me experiment with something. I'm gonna pull
You
up
could
because
use an MP3 player offline. Just use an MP3 player off screen, and then all you have to do is just click it and just make sure.
here's what I can do. I go to my folder. This is my Action PC, my DK Sports, right?
Right.
Baseball, sounds, and I can trigger them all from here, right?
Great minds think alike, buddy. That's exactly.
So let's say we're playing. Okay, the game's going. And let's say I want, what do we want to hear? Oh, how about some tequila? Now, it might be a little bit, it might come in a little bit loud there or whatever, right? I'm not sure it's going to match because it's got another, it's not going to match what I've set up in the game to control the level, right?
Doing them like that would be so cool because you could have that stadium announcer.
Yep.
That so atmospheric.
Yeah. And then we could
Great
go
job, man.
like. I like what you're saying. It's like being the DJ over here.
Exactly.
But I could also fire up, I don't know if people know this or whatever, but I have a second version, what I've done, of, if anybody ever wants to do this, perfectly doable. So if I go into my, where I keep action, right? This is my Action Baseball 2023. There sits, right here, my executable, my application, okay? And I've got a shortcut for it. But I could also go right now over to, and I've got the game open once, right? I've also saved, I'll make sure I can go to it. I've also got a copy. I copied this entire Action PC Baseball 2023 and made a duplicate copy and called it Negro Leagues. And I changed the name of the executable right here to Baseball 2023 NLB. My thought was I was going to go in there and edit some of the in-game eras and all that. But let's fire this version up. It'll allow me to have two actions going. I've got this second copy of it going. Okay. And so here it is. And I'll just take this one here and I can make it so you guys can see. I've got a second version. I'll drag that over to my other screen. And I can go then into the set up custom sounds, and I could access it from in there too. So
yeah, there's two ways to do it.
And here I am. So I'm over there playing it right from another open action app.
That is so cool. Oh my God, that's you're getting closer to the hardware factor. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, if you could just get Chris Slovic to, like do your games, man, that'd be it.
But
You
it,
know, wonder. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
I was going to say, it makes me think you could do some recording. Whoever mentioned it right here too, that you could record like a voiceover with a filter announcing certain players, save them in sounds, and then have them cued ready, and just hot hit them like you're the DJ right when they come up and do your own walk up.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man, I can hardly hear you.
Wow, my mic must be really weird today. Let me see if I can adjust something here. That is so cool. So, let's see what's wrong with me, bloody mic. I don't know what the hell's going on. Let me see if I can do this.
All right, yeah, I can hear you, but just you're like a 3 on a 1 to 10. We need you at about a 7 or 8.
Is this any better?
A little.
Any better? Any better? Any better? Any better? I just have to push a little harder. That's all. How about this? No?
I can kind of hear you, but it's faint.
I'm sorry. I have to just get it up here. I'm trying to make this thing work here.
Yeah,
Ooh, wait.
now it's almost like you get closer and it sounds better.
All right, there we go. Yeah, I twisted something around. See if that works.
Yeah, so now I'm going to have so much fun with these stadium sounds now.
We're never gonna see you again, dude.
Oh my gosh! And I'm going to show you the file here in a moment because I'm trying to think. I thought I had a couple others here that were some interesting sounds. Oh, they had some other more modern like songs you'd hear at a ballpark. There was a site I found. I am Sports Time Machine. I am using Prism Studio, Prism Live.
And what we're doing for voice mic is we're doing Discord chat, so that way.
Yeah, he's just coming in on the Discord like voice call, and it brings him in.
So that way we can get the better resolution. And because when I do it, I use OBS and use somebody on Discord that's using Prism. So that way we get the better resolution, and you guys get game sound, which is really
Boy, this can be fun now. Now I'm getting lost in here. I thought I had a couple other here to test out. I'm just looking through here. Yeah, so it got me thinking. I've got all the stuff that he put down here. I've even got I have many. Sports Time Machine needs to be invited. How do we get him invited to Discord?
I'll take care of that right now.
Let's get him in there. What else am I thinking here? I need to go then start digging around and bringing in a lot of custom files. We can really dress up the audio portion of the game.
You there, Steve?
I'm here.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay, cool.
Yes.
I'm going to ask Robbie to just put...
Look at the umpire calls. That's a good thing for everybody's eyesight. So here's like an umpire ball. It's like we have... We have 6 versions in here, but they all sound the same. So then we could go hunt down and get some variations, right? Hey, here's the guy I was telling you about, Legend Sports Universe. This is If anybody hasn't been to his site, if Legend Sports Universe would please drop a link to your site in my
You
chat
have
right here.
to, Steve. You have to make him a moderator. He can't drop a link unless you
Okay,
make him a
let me do it.
moderator.
I don't even know what I'm doing. Like I know what I'm doing in here.
The Legend Sports Universe. We've heard lots of good things about you.
This guy's doing
Lots
some
and lots.
awesome stuff with the show that's just got me fascinated with rating players for all-time franchises where he's taking 100 and then running a random number generator to figure out which 40 of the 100 based on so many per position come in to the game, and then yearly different ones can rotate in and doing a franchise project. So
That's cool.
it's
That's
very
a
cool.
great idea.
He belongs in our group because this guy loves all the stuff we do, which is the old greats and all that good stuff. So
I'm gonna subscribe to his channel.
Yep.
Right now.
Great stuff.
Now.
So now how do I make him a
Subscribe.
dang moderator? So let me go to my live.
Okay, so all you have to do.
How do I make him a
subscribe.
dang
Also
moderator? So
his
let me go to.
name in the chat.
So I go to the chat with. Oh, perfect. Right here within.
Right. So look at your chat over there, and when you see those three dots, click on the three dots, and you'll see add moderator to channel. You see it?
Your moderator, Legend Sports. Start dropping your link in there, man. Great,
There we go.
great projects he's got going on.
Yeah, just subscribe. So looking forward to it.
So now,
You're out of here.
so it seems like if it's umpire out, we'll have 7 or 8 versions in here. In fact, I could bring this over so everybody can see it. Each time that, it's all the same. So I'm going to have to go find some variations. It might be neat. And then when you have the different thing in the game, you can just pick, hey, what's the crowd boo? They have action boos, right? There's just 2 of them and it rotates. But we can find some other boos, like I want to get some hateful things that they can yell at people like Wagner when he's on the road.
You know another one you need to grab? So one of the coolest sounds I've heard. So in Baseball for Windows, when it's a really, really close game, that's when the crowd is like there's like a chant going on and stuff like that. And it's loud. It's really cool. And if you can't find it, what I'll do is sample it. I can sample it with my equipment.
Okay.
Yeah, I can sample.
Yeah, if you want to sample some cool stuff,
I can sample stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, just get an MP3 and send it to me, and I'll start getting in here and playing around with it and seeing how, you can set these up to have a little bit more variation. Same thing with 7th inning stretch. There's different versions. I got a Harry Carey version that was in that download pack. So, there's a variety of different 7th inning stretches you can put on here. The organ ditties, rally stuff, and then you've got these too. So the actual sound of the ball, right? The different sounds of a hard hit ball versus a bunt, things like that, collisions. So there's a lot of scenarios that can happen in a game that you can come in here and add the different crowd noises. Oh yeah, I've opened up a new box of stuff to get deep into now.
Yeah, Legend Sports Universe is saying that my voice is. We can't figure out why. Don't know what's going on. So nice to meet you, man. So I subscribe to your channel.
Yeah, it's odd. Let me pull up my Discord. Maybe I've got you muted over there, but no, I don't. It seems like everything should be.
Yeah, story of my life, man.
Voice connected. Yeah, you're just a little
know.
light on the voice today. So let me. I'm going to fire the game back up here. Oh, I had the other version.
Light in the loafers.
I guess.
Oh my God.
You're light on your feet. You're just a good dancer.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, your reputation precedes you, Beatles. So.
Oh my God. Hope it's a good thing.
I'm going to show off. Let me drop the photos in, and I'm going to show you the most recent. I sent you a updated, but I've added more players today for the Negro League project. So I'm going to select all of these.
I see you're splitting them into years now.
Yes, I'm trying to make it easier as I build them to try to categorize them. So I'm going to go now and drop the photos in a folder so I can show them off here real quick. Yeah, I got to remember what the heck I'm doing. I'm all over the place. I got so many windows open. Home brewing issues here.
Home brewing issues. We're gonna have to send you to HA, Steve,
Uh,
Home Brewers
it's,
Anonymous, right?
I know it's crazy. So let me go into my build file I have. Okay, action, baseball, photos, subfolder. It should be, what's it going to be called? Okay. Player build. Okay, there it is. Let me drop them in here. I have it backed up and I have one that I'm just building the players in.
Hmm,
So this should work.
okay.
Let's go over to player build, see what we got. Yep, here's the photos. So what I've done is I've taken, as I build as I get them created and numbers crunched, I'm building them into the game and I'm using the node area for the bio info. And I've just started to categorize them based on the year they're assigned, right? Even I'll take the 3 that I build them on, divide it by 3, and that's the average of those 3 years is the year they get assigned to. So if we go to the bio tab, it'll show you their age, and what year all their stats have been groomed to. That's a new word I'm going to use. I've groomed them to that
Groomed,
1908 National League coming out of theirs.
groomed them,
Yeah.
groomed.
So you'll see a lot of them, and I had to split the 20s up because I have so many players built for them right now. I've split them into the
Right.
5-year increments. So here's some pitchers,
Yeah, I
batters.
noticed that last night, and I was gonna ask you about that. So there, now you just reminded me.
Yeah, because I thought, well, what do we got? 21 total on this one, and for the second half of the 20s, I've got another 24. So I may do that as I get more and more players. I may have them in 5-year increments.
Because you're gonna have that in the 1930s as well.
Exactly. And the cool thing about the new feature this year with Action is this bio tab. So what's nice now that we have this is you can go look at, okay, here's the 1925 to 29 players. Oh, cool. Here's all the years that they're assigned to. They're all to a neutral park because we don't really have any park data to build homebrews from for the Negro Leagues. But
Right.
this is where I'm putting them all. Let's go hit the database and show off. I think I'm up to 93. Let's refresh them. See how many we got. I've got, not yet, 93 built. I've got a 94th that I just finished the numbers for, a pitcher by the
Wow.
name of Ed Ryle, who was a pitcher and first baseman and a lefty. So he'll be the next I build. But
Incredible.
if we go and let's add value and their rating if we want to see that too. So we can go by value, like game assigned based on attributes. You can see that's the value put on them by the file. So you can see Gibson's first, Charleston second.
See that? I see that.
And there's some of these early ones I did, like the first 10 with Suttles and Pop Lloyd. I need to go back and Turkey Stearns and double check and Toriente and double check a few of those probably first 10 I built and make sure that I'm applying some of my refined recipe to it.
So, are you gonna have? Do you think you're gonna have enough players for what do you have? 10 teams.
I will tell you why I think I'm going to have enough. Oh, I'm going to have enough. And this is why. And let me pull this side up because, this is what I'm using right here as my starting point. So I'm taking wins above replacement career. And I started building some of the better known here. So if you can see it, Oscar, Charleston, Dahigo, all the way down, right? But here's what's
Right.
cool. I don't just run out at 100 because now I can declare by position. So what I've done is, let's take first baseman, for example. I'm going to get the top 100 first baseman. So look at that.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to be able to go pretty deep. Now, I want to have the window dressing with the photos and all that good stuff too, right? So I haven't done Bill Pierce. I just did Lenny Pearson today, Edgar Wesley I did today, and Bill Pettis, and then Ed Ryle, who's a pitcher that played a little bit of first base. So if we look at him, you can see he's got pitching data. And of course, this is getting spread out to an equivalent 154 game season. But if you look at batting, one of the years I'm using, 2 of the years he was a big starting pitcher. One of them he was just a part-time pitcher and more of a first baseman. So he's got a good split.
Nice.
So the
Wow.
cool thing about the wins above replacement is you can see overall Or you can just
Huh?
break it down by position. Same thing with pitchers. We can just come in here and say hit pitchers and let's see who we got to build. So I've got Williams, Brown. I've got pretty much I haven't done Juan Padron yet, but some of these Cuban and the Mexican League players. But I've got like Matlock, Cooper, McHenry, Barney Brown, Hilton Smith, Bill Holland. A lot of these built. So I can just go down this list by wins above replacement and kind of prioritize building the better known or the higher quality players first. But I don't see any reason we can't have enough players. I'm saying 20 players for 10
Right.
teams. That's just 200. I mean, I'm going to probably
Yeah.
I'll cross the 100 created this weekend.
Yeah. Well, and what'll be nice though too is because all the usual suspects are done, like the elite players are all in there now, or most of them, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you've done Luke Easter yet, but
Well, a couple I've added that here's what I got to think. If we want to use this
Uh-huh.
as a standalone Negro League project, I'm going to need players. So I built Monty Irvin, I built Campanella because they have a significant footprint in the Negro Leagues. Jackie
Right,
Robinson is different. What was he, a 1.5 year and done? So he doesn't really have
right.
the 3 quality years to card for that. But
And Hank Aaron really not in there that long either.
yeah. So let's take a look at say the 1940s. Oh,
Legend Sports Universe says that he likes it when people. He says when guys get into the Negro League stuff. This is something we've wanted to do for a while, and Steve is making it happen. Legend Sports Universe. It's awesome. This project we're going to be doing over Steve's channel and mine. It's going to be a blast.
consume my life, Legend Sports Universe, because I'm a big, and he's a guy too. If you watch his stuff, he's doing a lot of, he's got his own formulas he builds to be able to get the ratings to come out realistic in some of these game engines that don't just have a stat line you input, right? So, I mean, I'm lucky at least where I'm having to put things in terms of the stat line that action needs to then go in and then I can add ratings. What he's doing is he's having to figure out, okay, how do I get them to play lifelike using their like up to a 99 scale. So what he's doing, I find interesting because I love all that stuff myself. But I've never really ventured into doing it for MLB The Show. And again, if I could take Action PC in the game engine for this, and then we could just hit pitch, and then it cuts to the MLB The Show graphics where the players look like the old players, and
Dream Sim, brother.
yeah, that's the dream sim right there for me, anyway.
Yeah.
But if he had a thing on, I was riding the bike. I don't know which one, Legend Sports, you're here, but he did a little clip of one of the games. And Beatles is a huge Pirate fan. So he did a clip at Forbes, and it just looks so beautiful back there with, I forget who the players were. I think hit it out or hit it into the corner or something like that for a triple or something like that. But it was just like a little snippet he did that I saw yesterday. And it just looks beautiful. It makes you to go, oh my gosh, I want to play that game. I just wish they had it on PC because I'd love to mess around with that, but I'm thinking, I just don't like the consoles as much. So I'm thinking, I don't know if it would be useful to have it on console and then just stream it through my PlayStation account to the PC and do all of my work from the PC. Maybe that's something. But
see, the other reason why I don't understand why they don't do that is any game, provided your PC's powerful enough, is going to look better on a PC because you have way more options. And
yeah,
I don't know
resolution.
so why are I mean, there's like a huge market of people. Bring it to the damn PC.
It must be work and how they port it to get it to run right. I don't know. That's all I can think of. That they just feel like, hey, we're not going to waste our energy on it.
I wish they would. I really want to play that. I want to play MLB The Show. I'm not like I have a PlayStation over here I haven't touched in 2 years. I'm not a console guy. I'm just not.
2 years ago, well, a year and a half ago, in the summer, my buddy came, and he's the one I used to do gaming in college with, Lance Heffner and all that. We cranked up the show. I got the show, I think it was 2021, right? And I've got a PS4. And then I found one of these mods that had franchise All-Stars. So me and him were just having a blast. So I fired it up on my big screen on my 70-inch TV, and I was amazed at how well, it was put together. So we played
ballparks.
What's that? Oh, yes. Yeah.
Because you and Legend Sports Universe have me really tempted now to hook up my PlayStation and buy MLB The Show. I'm serious.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I have a PlayStation 4. I have 2021 for it, and in the vault, you got you go to the vault and download some of these. I think they're all-time great, like franchise, right? So
Right.
me and my buddy, when he was here visiting for that weekend, my wife was like, "Oh gosh, you guys are like 20 years old again." Uh, we just didn't have the cigars this time, but we had the beer. But we got that thing fired up, and we played. I think we played an A's versus an Orioles, and an A's versus a Reds or whatever, or Yankees versus Reds, all time great, and set the lineups, and it was a freaking blast.
Oh
And I
man.
was amazed at how well the players were represented as far as ability and how they looked. It's not like it's just some generic dude we're pretending is Babe Ruth. It looked like Babe Ruth.
That is so cool. I might have to buy it now. Damn it.
Yeah, because of Legend Sports Universe and me watching that, it's making me even think, do I just buy a PS5? I mean, come on. I want to. My wife's going
Well,
to be out
it's
of
gonna
town
look.
this weekend. Maybe I can sneak it
I'm
in the
not gonna.
house.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything, man. I mean, yeah, yeah. Way to go, brother. You know what I'm saying, but I don't want to be responsible because you can't say, "Oh, Beatles said, yeah, good idea," because then, yeah,
Yeah.
then Mrs. Steve Tate will hate me.
Oh, I know.
So,
Yeah, and Time Machine saying Slovak. Yeah, Slovak is just
he's the best. He's the best.
he's just such a natural announcer, and I don't even think he's trying to put on. I've heard him talk after his broadcast is over. I was typing one morning as he was doing a game, chatting, and that's just him. That's a natural. He just has a natural like broadcaster voice.
Oh,
And
yeah, he's so good. He is so good.
yeah, it would be great to have him do something. But man, I was, I'm telling you, I'm an action fan. I love it, and this is my thing for like doing the simming. But man, when I see what Legends is doing with, and then the other cool thing is if you go to his site, he's telling you how he's going to approach it, which is, and I forget what the breakdown is. He's got a thing up there where he's making all the positions are full, right? But he's taken 100 great players because if you do a franchise, how do you dwindle down like the Yankees or a team like that down to just 40
You can't.
people? You can't.
Yeah,
So
it's
he's
hard.
taken 100 and then he's doing a random generator to figure out which 40 of those 100 occupy the active roster. How cool is that?
Super cool.
So
No,
anyway,
I mean,
I'm
it's
pumped
not
up.
so much. It's not video games that are hard to mod. It's not that. It's PlayStation, right? Because Xbox players know you can mod crazy, crazy stuff. So, like if you're playing PlayStation, Sony is super strict about mods. It's not video games are harder to mod. It's that Sony has restrictions on what you can do. That's why, like, so Skyrim players, if you see a Skyrim player that's playing PC, you get all these amazing mods, including some that are not safe for work. Sony doesn't allow those mods. Period. You just can't do it. That's Sony. That has nothing to do with the console at all because it's the same thing. If you can get under the hood and see the code, you can mod a game. But Sony is super strict. You just can't do it. They won't let
Look
you.
here's what he's telling. He's explaining. So each year, so he's going to run it. You can run it year after year after year, right? And so then each year, 3 new players from that pool of 100 will come in and join the franchise.
That's a great idea.
It's awesome, man. I'm like, so
Yeah.
I'll definitely be following that. And trust me, the last 2 days I've been like, oh man, do I get it? I'm just thinking, Legends, let me know if I have it on for PlayStation. Can I have full functionality of it, streaming it, like go into my PlayStation account on my PC and do things with it from there? Because I'm not a guy grabbing a joystick and pressing buttons. It's just not my comfort zone. My comfort zone is being able to sit here on a keyboard with a mouse.
Same. I can still play Twitch games, but I mean, when it comes to these things, yeah, I'd rather just manage teams than actually
Well,
have to swing the bat or.
yeah. And I've got to tell you that the other thing that my buddy and I loved is we didn't want to control them either. We set the lineups and then just let the computers manage it. And then, of course, you could hit a button and then we could go in there if we wanted to stop or do whatever. But we sat back drinking beer. We didn't have a joystick, that we were controlling, and we had a blast watching these
So,
all-time franchise teams play.
so you're saying that it has AI managers in MLB
Yes,
Show?
Oh yeah, and I'm talking about 2021 show on PS4, and it looked beautiful. I can
That's
only
it. I'm
imagine
buying it.
PS5.
I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I'm
Yeah.
buying it. That's it.
So go look at
I'm
what Sports
sold.
Universe is doing. I mean, and it's just beautiful. He's also got other stuff for the other sports, right? Like I know he's done football with like the Pro Strategy. Oh, I'm sorry, F ball. That we
No,
don't.
it's your channel, dude. You can
It's
do
my
it.
channel. Okay, yeah. Beatles. Just so anybody doesn't know, Beatles is pretty much he's strictly he's a 100% diehard baseball guy. But he's also got like NBA 2K with some of the classic stuff that's on there, like Slovak does, and then recently some of the NHL, some hockey stuff. But the games are just gorgeous to watch, and I agree. You can set the lineups, and then the other thing, the new seasons mean nothing to me. Having the history and the all-time franchise, that's right up my alley. So
Absolutely.
when I can watch like gorgeous things and watch a game of the greatest Pirates playing, and he mentioned earlier what I was talking about is he's got a great video on there of Rennie Stennett hitting a triple down the right field line,
Oh, nice. There we go.
and take a look
So
at the old classic stadiums. Now there's another thing. So with the new generation, Legend Sports Universe probably knows this better than me. There's people that are making all those classic stadiums because they have a full customizer where you can do a stadium build, and
wow.
they're gorgeous. He says
So
he's going
how
to
much
do a broadcast the next couple of days. Oh man, you got to do that.
PS5s are still up around $1,000 though, aren't
No,
they?
you can go grab a digital version for like $500 right now.
Of a PS5,
Yes,
$500.
yes.
That's not bad.
No, it's not. That's livable. Yeah, that $1,000 stuff is just I can't do that. I mean, even
Oh,
if I had the money, it's like I'm not paying that. But for $500,
to be able to play a gorgeous baseball game like
yes.
that, hell yeah,
And to have
hell yeah.
functionality, haven't now that we know Legends, he's the guy to know, right? He creates these awesome rosters, and there's a bunch of other people that have cool historical rosters. You go to that vault, and I've watched people do it. It's easy. I did it on the PS4. I mean, I went to the vault, looked and downloaded them and all that stuff. It wasn't that hard for me to figure out when my buddy was here. And now I haven't touched
Uh,
them. I haven't fired up the PS4 MLB The Show 21 in a year or more, but
oh man. Well, there we go. Time to spend money.
oh, I have a clip on my channel from Tiger Stadium. Oh man, I gotta go. Yeah, so
We should go to Legend Sports Universe after we're done here. Let's go to his house.
you're
channel.
not lying. You know where I watch this stuff? I'll do it this afternoon. I'll go down for my bike ride for about 35, 40 minutes. That's when I have been tuning over and looking at some of his videos and going back and
Nice.
watching. But the baseball one, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be an awesome project. Awesome project.
Wow. So can you play like I mean I hate season replays, but can you like so but with even with that franchise Great League can you set up like a season?
Yes.
Oh man,
What he's going to
all
do
these
is,
years.
let me see if
See,
I got
that's
this
why I
right.
wasn't. The
Sports.
reason I wasn't interested in MLB The Show is because I thought, oh, it's just the current season. I don't give a damn about the current season. I don't. I can just watch it.
Oh,
You know
here's
what I'm
what he's
saying?
saying is what's bad is like say you put all your stuff into 4, it's you're not able to kind of like just grab it and carry it over to 5. So you're
Right,
having to
right.
start from scratch. That would kind of suck. But he can correct
Yeah.
me if I'm wrong on any of this, but yeah, you can run a full season with those. And I think what he's going to be doing is so he'll run a season with the 40 that get auto generated of the 100, right? So let's say his Pittsburgh team's got 100 people, but
Uh-huh.
these 40 are going to start off. Then each year, once that season's over, when they move on to the next year, new players are going to come in and join it year after year after year. So
Oh.
he could keep this going for years. And I'll wait to see if he corrects me. But um, I'm
He
thinking
says
I'm right on that. That's his
Sony
approach.
craps on modders. Yeah, they always have. Sony sucks for that, but what are you gonna do? They used to own the Beatles catalog. Now the Beatles own it, but Sony had the Beatles catalog for a while. How you gonna argue with a company that big? They don't
Yeah.
give a shit about sorry, don't give a crap what monitor.
But here's one thing for
So
us that
sad.
the graphics are so good, like from what I've seen, like let's say in 22 right now. If you set up
Right.
the league he has, yeah, maybe I get 23, but 22 looks so good. How much better can it get, right? And if I have the historical mod in 22, I could be happy for several years playing that, not feeling like I'd have to upgrade. You know what I mean? Unless a new feature
Right.
came on or something. But if you see how good
Right.
his franchise teams look, and I don't know, Legends, if are you the one that's having to create the player and make sure that they resemble physically the actual player? Are there some that are already in the game available as a legend, or are you having to do that from scratch? That's something that'd be nice to know.
I wish that Sony would do what Out of the Park Developments did. Just include everything. Boom, right? I mean, Out of the Park Baseball has every season, and Out of the Park is going to catch up to MLB The Show. They're gonna. That's what Marcus Hindson has said that they're shooting for. I mean, it's going to be some years, but Out of the Park Baseball is the one to watch for that.
No.
It's going to happen.
So Legends is doing what I would do too. He's got his own formulas he trusts, and he re-rates them, and then he's made some faces, but a lot of them are already created by other guys. So there's probably some other, all-time great players that have good resemblance. And I know the games. I mean, you could get in there like word tweak and stuff right here and play with it. I did not make one, Robbie. The one I did, my PlayStation 4 is downstairs. I'd have to fire it up. I don't remember the name of it, but it was for MLB The Show 2021, and it was somebody's all-time like franchise roster. And we just grabbed it, downloaded it, and we're like, man, they look like the players. The rosters are awesome. They've got the greats on them. He also had another one that was awesome of Legends did, where he had Jimmy Fox smashing the home run, I think.
Awesome. Jimmy, one of my favorite all-time players.
So here, I got Roy Campanella up here, Beatles. I've got him rated now.
Oh, cool.
So he's catcher, a little bit of left field and right field. And then Monty Irvin, look at here. Look, he played a bunch of positions, by the way. That surprised me. He's mainly a shortstop. But, yeah, he's rated to play third, second, and all the outfield. And as you'll notice, here's the other thing that, and I'm going to bring this up since Dave Cook helped me out with the slider. I haven't yet brought this topic up, which is the notes, how I'm using the notes, the 100 characters, right? But I've got little snippets about each player. Look at this guy. I already see a typo here. I missed an L there. Boom. Cool.
Clue's here hanging out with us.
Big Clue.
Big Clue. Baseball cranks. Using that 19th century term. Love it.
Big Clue. We've been praising Legend Sports Universe, who's here with us today. Please check out his link he popped in there. He's doing some really cool stuff on MLB The Show with historical baseball franchises, which is stuff we love.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it got me thinking, well, Action could always, how hard would it be to take this player card here and just make it bigger so that instead of one line, maybe there's 2 or 3 lines here, right?
I don't see how it'd be hard at all.
No, you just add the characters from 100, make it be 200 or 300, and then just bump this card up. Because this card, I can't resize it. It's stuck, right?
Right.
But
right.
They could just change the format of the card, and so few lines, maybe a whole paragraph would display. He's added this little line to show where they rank in these categories for the players on the file. So,
well, thanks. Now I got to buy a PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you.
Because I mean the new version, even if it would be available on PS4, is not going to look anywhere near as good.
Here's the deal: they have a digital version that's like $50 cheaper, which means it's digital only. You can't drop it's not a 4K disc player. And I don't know if anybody here has one of these that wants to chime in and let us know how that works.
I don't even mess with that stuff anymore. I don't care about DVDs and all that crap. I'll do it straight up digital. I don't need any disc to inserts. Pain in the arse anyhow. Eh,
Yeah, and I don't have any legacy stuff like from a PlayStation 4 that I want to pop in there, or, you know.
Right.
So I think if I'm right around $500 you can get the digital only version, and I think
That's it. I'm
Walmart or
doing
Best
it.
Buy had them in stock.
I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Have to now. When you're telling me that there's AI and you can just set up a game and whatever,
Yes,
that's it. I'm
yes.
sold. Because I don't really give a damn about swinging a bat.
No, I don't want to swing a bat either. Now, I might entertain myself one day, but that's why I'm sold on this, and
Right.
that's why my buddy said, he goes, can you imagine if we had this when we were in college? Because we're sitting there
You
with
would have
Lance
flunked out,
Hafner's,
Steve.
huh?
You would have flunked out. You would have flunked out of
Well,
school.
who says I didn't?
Who says you didn't, right?
That academic pro, hey, thank God the police academy was hiring. That was I left there a little early and finished it a little bit later, but that's a whole
Because I
nother
know
side
you
story.
didn't flunk out because you and I both have master's degrees. That's why I know you didn't flunk out. But you
Well,
would have. That bit, right? Come on.
I went back and made good use of stuff, but I was originally an
Right.
architecture major, and so I changed that, and then criminal justice. I actually ended up leaving because I had a guy say, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Well, I wanted to go work for the feds, law enforcement." He said, "Well, hey, you don't have military. They're going to want you to have a couple years of police experience. Why don't you leave, go down and work for the police department? Albuquerque's hiring. Do a couple years, let them pay for the rest of your degree." Because they had tuition reimbursement, and then after a few years, go to the FBI or DEA. That was my original plan.
Okay. Okay. If you would have had this back in, man, same here. Would have had this back in university days. Forget it, man.
Oh,
I ended up graduating with highest honors. Penn State would have booted my arse out third semester.
yes.
I'm telling you. Oh my God.
We sat around with cigars and beer playing Lance Hafner and thought that was the best thing in the world. Yeah, now then we got that Pure Stat. We had Micro League Pure Stat. We had a game called Super Sunday on Commodore 64, and it looked like it had graphics, with some of the great Super Bowl teams. I mean, we were like, this is the best thing we've ever seen.
Yep. See, these kids today are spoiled. Get off my lawn.
Yeah. Big clues like Police Academy. Who were you? Yeah, I know. I was I was under the radar, man, when I was in the
Right.
academy. Get back to work, sports. I wonder if he means his real job or the real job he has of uh, creating those wonderful things he's doing. But yeah, thanks for showing up, man. If you haven't seen his site, right, it's its own cool thing with the PS5 stuff, and yeah, it's
Definitely
gorgeous
gonna
looking
check that
stuff.
out. I'm already subscribed, and here we go.
Oh, you're gonna be like, oh man, got to get out the newspaper. He says, yeah. So I've just been categorizing these. So I'm making progress. I got 93. I got a 94th player ready to go. So this weekend, Beatles, I'm probably cross the 100 mark. So we got 100 players ready to roll. I think once we get to
Nice.
200, 240-ish. I mean, I don't know what we think. The way these people can cover different positions, I'm thinking maybe rosters of 20 to 22 should be good.
I think that would work. I mean, the Ned McGreevy League. I think that our biggest team has 22 players, and we're at game 140, I think now or something. So yeah, it would work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those guys didn't cover as many positions as these guys.
No. Here's the guy done recently, Sammy Hughes. Some of these players I have never heard of. Once you get past the ones that I heard of, even when I was a kid, it's faster than a big train heater, Big Clue says. Yeah, here's where we're at, Big Clue. I'll pull up the database. I've got 93 built. Number 94 is over here on my spreadsheet named, what's this guy's name? He was a pitcher, first baseman. I just finished him. Ed Ryle, known as Huck. I've got, what did I say? 93 done right here. 93. Oh, I got to say all players, include the pitchers. So we have 93 done. We'll sort them by batting average just for grins. And we can sort and take a look at them right here. Batting average. There we go. Right now by batting average. Seeing a couple other power hitters because, there wasn't these guys didn't hit there wasn't a ton of home run crushers. The ones that really stood out, like Heavy Johnson and Charleston, had home
Josh.
run power. Josh Gibson by
Josh.
far.
Yeah.
Suttles, Turkey Stearns. There's another guy I just rated. I had no idea was like the Bash Brothers version for the Detroit Stars, which is this
So
guy.
the Negro Leagues were more small ball. They really did a lot of station to station ball, which is one reason why you didn't see a lot of these big hitters. That wasn't the style. I mean, Josh could kill it, and Suttles and those guys, but that's what a lot of the Negro Leaguers said with Jackie, right? Because they're saying,
Yep.
oh, the major leagues are like calling what Jackie's doing awesome baseball. And he said they just brought our baseball to the majors. And it was that station to station, steal home, steal first, steal second, whatever, for a base hit. So Jackie, in a way, was a throwback player if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because
He,
right when you get into the 40s, you're starting to really get into that power era where you're trying to get some men on and then bring them home with a big blast, right?
here's the guy I was thinking of right here. He was why is Turkey Stearns picture showing for Edgar Wesley? That's weird. Anyway, I have to check that out. Edgar Wesley was that teammate of Stearns. They were like a dynamic 1-2 Bash brother punch. He had 23 home runs. Stearns up there averaging, 29. Clue knows these players. Rev, Hurley, damn fine play. Clue is getting excited because he's seeing players he knows. Yeah, we're getting down to some of these next level players that I've got here. Let's take a look at
Luke Easter done yet, by the way?
I do not.
Do you have him? You don't have Luke Easter done. Okay.
I do not.
Curious.
It's not just entertaining, it's educational. Darn well. Arnold just tuned in and did not know you guys were on. Must get that notification fixed. I don't even know how to help with that, Arnold. I'm just filling in. And Arnold, please, if you haven't, we got Legend Sports Universe here today. Go click on some of his links. He just put a link in here, he said, from an earlier project where he's got a full game Cardinals Red Sox on there. And he's doing stuff on the PS5 where he's creating some of the greatest franchise player files for PS5, and they're beautiful. And he's doing his own home brewing too, which I love. He's doing his own formulas to get the ratings where they need to be for it to be realistic. So he's probably going to get myself and Beatles to buy a PlayStation 5 this weekend.
Oh yeah, income tax refund next week, baby. I know where part of that's going.
Oh. Nice. Yeah.
Don't forget to leave a like, guys, please, for Steve. Helps the channel.
Edgar. Yeah. Have a light. I'm in a top 2,000 players ranking for that's entering its fourth year. We're coming to 1,800 soon. Frankie Austin. Hey, Mitchell Murray. Well, I just built Mitchell Murray today. Let's look at Mitchell Murray. Well, let's do this. Let's go this way. I can always find him. You can always go to player search on your file. Let's see where Murray is.
I got me, Big Clue. Fight me, dude. He says you still got a refund. Oh, that's right. You're a musician. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, Big Clue. Yeah, I didn't even make a comment on that. But here's Mitchell Murray.
Guys are cruel, man. Right.
Take a look at his fielding. So he's catcher only. So the years I'm using, he's only catcher. Decent batter, right? He's got 12 homers, 316 average. Decent fielder. This is how I've got him rated. Who's the other guy we wanted to see? Austin? I think I've done him. Frank Austin. There you go. So Clue knows his Negro League baseball. That's awesome. So here's some of he's born in Panama, talented bunter with good range and a mediocre arm at shortstop. That's what I was able to dig up on him. 5'7", 170. And these are just, I kept thinking, why does it say Ballers Pops? I had to give a nickname for the era teams I created, and that's what that is. Straight up shortstop. Little above average shortstop. Batting, yeah, he's a 319 batter. Yeah, there you go, Big Clue. Nothing like a progressive tax code. Don't get me going on that. We need to go back to biblical times where they had to knock on your door to collect at the end of the year. Then we would pay much more attention to what we're having to pay. it may make it harder for them to collect. Not this paywall reduction made things too easy for them. People just can ignore. They're just like, hey, what am I left with? Anyway, Big Clue coming in with his knowledge. Yeah, I've started building some of these players down here as I get closer to the top
Big Clue,
100.
I'm getting spoiled. Just remember where I used to live, you never got anything back on taxes, buddy. So I'm feeling like, yeah, it's not like Ireland and the Netherlands are all about giving money back, pal. Believe me. But once I can get back into doing instructional design and stuff, then yeah, the refund days are over because that's like six-figure stuff. So
I want to, let me see here. What am I going to pull up to look at here? Oh, here's a guy I just did. Oh, nah, never mind. Thought I did a pitcher recently. Oh, I did. I just haven't built him yet. His name's Ed Ryle. He's a starting pitcher with some good amount of first base too. Several catchers I did. You'll recognize this guy from the this era. If you guys recognize this, Miguel Angel Jimenez.
yep.
Right, the golfer. Well, we've got a Miguel Angel Gonzalez, but he's also Mike Gonzalez that played for the Cardinals and in the major leagues. Why is it showing? The pictures are a little bit off. So you know what? Let me go to roster tools and see what's going on. Roster tools, photo, nickname. These are all right. There's Mike Gonzalez showing up. Pete Hill. Okay. Maybe I just had to reset those. Mike Gonzalez. He's rated. He's attributed to this phrase. He came up with the phrase, good field, no hit.
Clue, totally agree with you in the James Riley book. It's a must-have. It's a must-have. Talking about the James Riley.
I was going to order that, and then one of the other things that I don't know if I've shared this site. I think I did with everybody. This is another one of my favorite sites that I've been using on this project here. Is it the eMuseum? This one. It's the eMuseum. So if you want to see some really good stuff available online for free, my gosh, where's all my stuff? Right here. Go to the eMuseum. They got a research library. They've got history. Teacher resources is great. Look, you can get lesson plans and learn about different stuff. They got a research library here with photo archives, but under history, they have the personal profiles. They don't have everybody, but they have most notable ones, and you can just search through, by last names, and they've got some really good, let's pull one up here. Here's a guy, Joe Green. He's not too far off from me building, but they got some great stories and biography information here for a lot of these players right here at this site. And this has been really helpful, along with Wikipedia and the Baseball Reference Bullpen, and Saber has some too, where I'm getting little bits of detail to put in the bio line for them.
Still, I like what Big Clue has to say there. I agree. Because you can get these big books for super cheap. Saying you got to get the Riley book at some time, Steve, just to have it. It's amazing.
It's all right. You guys are twisting my arm. I guess I'm getting more than a PS5 this weekend.
Yeah, get that along with your PS5. It's a great book, and you can get it super cheap.
Nice. Well,
Big Clue's giving you a little bit more. You gotta love Big Clue, because he just Big Clue is the right. There you go, right? Closure degree and Big Clue now hitting us both at the same time. Oh man.
Music
Big
theory.
Clue.
Hey, it's an org management. It's an MAOM. So hey, it's.
Dude, Big Clue, like going for
Hey.
Gunning. This is like St. Valentine's.
I want to say I got my master's degree after I was established in the work world. Okay, so just I call it a working man's master's. It's a little different.
Ooh. Damn. I'm writing a book of music theory right now. So I suppose I really. Oh my God. Jeez. Oh well.
You know what's funny, Big Clue? I had 27, I think, hours towards a map. I started it 4 times and stopped it. I had about 20 some odd hours spread out all over the place, and they were worthless when I finally went back and got it. But
How
it was
about
free. Let me
legendary?
put it this way: it was a nice benefit of being employed and working and having an employer have a tuition that was a grant tuition assistance thing where I'm like, are you kidding me? So basically, if I just get in this program, I'm going to get it. I didn't have to pay a dime. So I'm like, yeah, what the hell? I better motivate myself.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, it's just big clue. Big clue. Who I finally created the heresy. The not the 9 o'clock heresy league, by the way, an exhibition game today. But big clue hitting us, man. He comes out swinging, doesn't he? He
Yep.
does. He's a dangerous man. No, big clue. You and I have to write co-author a humorous book on heresies. I'm telling you, it'll be huge. We'll love it. We'll love it. Anyhow, Steve, what you're doing with all this stuff is mind blowing. It's mind blowing, dude. It seriously
Well,
is.
who did Big Clue mention the word education, right? So I'm having a blast doing it because
Mm.
I've heard of these since I was a kid. Cool Papa Bell, you know what I mean? Satchel Paige, right? These are names I've heard since I've been little, right? But now I'm getting
Right.
to the level where I'm like, Frank Austin. What's going on with Frank Austin? I've never heard about him. And now I'm seeing the teams he played for. Oh, man, he batted pretty good. Oh, look at his ratings. So now I'm at that next level learning about that I did with the Major League Baseball, right? When I was a kid digging up encyclopedias and going through here. Now I'm having that same enjoyment I had back then of learning about things for the first time. I'm getting to do that for the first time here.
Awesome.
That's what's cool.
Yeah. It's yeah. Right. It's like all over again. And I love the fact that Big Clue is catching because the idea, right, is that this, is the educational aspect, not just playing a game. So
Yep. And that's
it's gonna
why
be so fun.
I'm loving this. Now I'm gonna make it a point tonight that before I go to bed that now that Dave hooked me up and got my walk up music slider fixed because I just tested out a patch and let him know it worked. In fact, that's what I did here live with you guys is test that patch out and it works great. I'm gonna hit him up for this. Can we take the player notes? He lets us edit it, right? And can we make that field even larger than 100 characters in case we wanted to put a couple paragraphs? I don't know what would be reasonable. At least getting maybe 200 or 300 characters here. And how cool would that be? I mean, I don't know if
It,
everybody else in the game would ever use this, but for this
it'd be
project, I think it's
superb.
fun.
It'd be superb. Superb.
Yeah, and it gives you a
It
little
would.
snippet like here's Pete Hill, right? Great outfielder, had speed, strong throwing arm. There's some cool little things. Here's Pelayo Chacon right here. Sometimes there's not a lot of information, so I'll put down, hey, he played from these years, known for good speed, excellent defense, and let's go back to modify and range. So see what it let me type in and range, but on the card, it's cutting it off a little bit sooner, right? So I could just end it right there.
Yeah. So did you say you did message him about this, or are you going to
I'm
message him
going to. I
about
have
this?
yet to do that. I
Cool.
keep saying,
Maybe show him a screenshot of what you're doing.
yeah, well, I'll send him the file. So he'll be able to pull it up and see
Cool.
this. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I'll go back, take a look at Chacon, what I had here. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just finding some snippets, saving it, but you're limited to just what would display here pretty much, right? Like 100 characters, I think, is a limit. So it'd be
Big
kind of
Clue's
nice.
quoting Socrates in your chat. Of that.
An inch wide and a mile deep when it comes. Oh yeah, we're getting.
But Big Clue saying, I think we can best summarize what sets baseball apart from other sports by paraphrasing Socrates. To wit, the unexamined sport is not worth playing.
Very true. Very true. I like that thought.
That's a grand slam.
But yeah, it's having a blast doing this project. Let me see if I click on a player. Yep. There, I don't know why some of those that I brought in weren't showing right, but it seems like Dick Redding, all the pictures are showing okay now. Yep. When I click on them.
God envy, you're right. Baseball history is a rabbit hole, but it's one I gladly. It's fine. I want to reach the Earth's core in baseball research. You guys, you other guys here can have the lesser sports. I'll just get lost in baseball, and that's it. Steve, what you're doing here again? MV and I were just talking about doing a Negro Leagues thing and trying to figure out, and then what you're doing here is like transcending anything we ever dreamed of. And yeah, that's why I mean to have it on your channel, mine, maybe get a couple other guys. It's great. This is amazing.
You know what I haven't done? Let's look at this.
What's
I mean,
that?
they're not really built teams, but let's look at era to era. Let's take the 20s, the early 20s,
Same
and
here, MV.
late 20s. And let's take an early 20s, and let's who's a pitcher over there in the late 20s? Oh, we got Foster. And there we go. Remember this old fun stuff?
Do.
Now, the teams are in a neutral park, so we're not going to see any ballpark specific stuff. We could change that and play and use the what if to do that. But now we're seeing, all right, Rube Foster is going to pretty much reduce everybody's average here, and it's showing you how much. He's going to take Beckwith's 329 down to 260, and so on. That's always fun.
Satch still a monster?
I'll have to. Okay, let's go take a look at the 30s.
I was just curious because I thought you were going to adjust Satch a little bit or something.
Let's see. Yeah, so you'll notice he's still way up there, but remember we were seeing that 60-some% chance to strike out. Now it's a little. Now we're seeing him. I think his rate came out to 7. It's a little less than Waddell's. I have to look at it because I had to adjust for error. You got to realize the Negro Leagues back then might average 122 per 1,000 at bat strikeouts, where the MLB for the equivalent might just be at a max of 100, right? So they're a 20% bump. So if we're bringing them over and carting them into a major league environment, they're going to take a 20 to 30% reduction just based on the straight how they played baseball in that era. Typically, it depends year to year, and I'll go specifically and look year by year how I bring them in, but that's just a kind of a ballpark range, and I hadn't made those proper adjustments. So what I did is, for all the baseball nerds that we have here, I have this whole era file. So I went through and got myself some working numbers for actual Negro League right here, all the data available. Some of these are a little off, but now you can start seeing a trend here. Like if we look at the early part, look at the early part here. You've got what, an average of 127 strikeouts. And if we come to the National League in a similar time period, it's 109. Okay. So, you know, that 109. So what's that? It's an 85%. So they're going to get like a 15% reduction on average. Now, depending on the year. So I'll come over here once I know their baseline year, and I'm baselining all of these people right over here to the NL. So for Page, what is he, 1930? Say he's 32. Look at how high the strikeouts were there compared to the NL and even the AL here. That's a bigger reduction. So he's going to it from like a 90 per 1,000, or he's going from like 120 down to a 90 per 1,000. Anyway.
A bit of a hit there.
Yeah, so I went and spent some time getting at seam heads and looked at year by year every and kind of filled in that era data per 1,000, the same way Action PC would. Action's only got the Negro League era in there for the 8 seasons they provide. So I had to fill all that in so I could do my adjustments. But anyway, you're seeing right here, he's still going to strike out a lot. Look, you got Carr.
Oh, yeah.
They got a 40% chance. If we move Page out of there and bring in Dahigo, look at the strikeouts go down.
Right.
He's a good pitcher, but he's not a strikeout pitcher like Page. If we bring in Brown, you know, he's a good pitcher, not a strikeout pitcher. You bring Page in and you watch their strikeouts come up.
Oh, yeah.
Double duty Radcliffe. Okay, he's not going to reduce him as much. Still is an above average pitcher. Not a strikeout guy though. Look, Smith a little bit better on strikeout. So it's kind of cool to see.
I'm
So Page,
really
I've got him.
excited.
Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm really, really excited. It's like this is way down the line, and even after once the Negro League project gets going, in and of itself, I really want a Waddell Page matchup. I think that's gonna be fun. These two strikeout monsters going, right? And even understanding that Page is going to take a bit of a hit, I still think it's going to be a hell of a
So
matchup.
let's go take a look at what I've got over on the other side, right? Because I take a break. Maybe I'll build, and then I'll spend one day when I got some building putting 5 or 6 or so MLB grades.
Mhm.
So let's go over to what I've got for them right now, and you can see I'm putting them on the franchise. So if we look at Waddell, these are the A's that I have built so far. And I haven't decided if I want to spend the time to do the note section because most people, um, I would say, kind of maybe more familiar with the MLB, right? But it's something that you could really dress the file up and have a bio for them too.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, it'll be a lot of work. I would say in this baseball community, right? So mine is kind of the only channel really focuses on older baseball. Nobody else really does. So in that respect, but then again, I don't know if it would get them even interested because everybody else is pretty much 70s and up on
Yeah.
the channel. I think I'm the only one that does. I mean, so I know these players, and everybody that comes to my chat and your chat, right? Because we kind of cross pollinate knows. That I would say there's people out there that probably don't even know who Rube Waddell is, and they are baseball fans.
Yes. Yeah.
So
So yeah, I may look at how I build this out like as a final product, but I've got Waddell on here so you can see where his numbers are at. And but you've got to take a look at his ERA plus, right? That era had numbers. He's got great numbers, 1.88 ERA, right? And what do we got here?
yeah,
His big thing is his strikeouts per era were way above average, right? But his ERA he's above average, but not superstar above average. But if we look at
he's
his
not Walter. Yeah,
yeah, he's not Walter
Johnson.
Johnson with that. But look at this. That 8.3 per 9 is outstanding. Some of the batters I've got over there already built. You can see these guys with a lot of OPS, right? Your Fox and Simmons and that. So yeah, we could definitely. I've got the players ready to go. I could maybe this weekend I'll broadcast one. I can throw a Waddell versus Sage, kind of like see how Sage does in another game. That's something this weekend that you and I could do.
Yeah, it'd be a blast.
Maybe one of us takes the. I'll create like another little mock-up of a great Negro League All-Star team, and then one of an MLB, and we could test them and play them again. Maybe have a Page Waddell showdown.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
That could be it, man. And it'll give me some time here this week. I'll get the rosters assembled for that. That could be pretty fun.
It'd be brilliant.
And who are some of the other ones? Oh, here's some of the other ones I've built. Like you'll recognize some of these Cardinals that we now have in here. Pepper Martin, Medwick. The nice line. Now, of course, the averages were higher. So if we look at Medwick here, it was a high hitting average, but I just didn't really maybe pay attention to just how solid he was as far. Look at the extra base hits.
Oh hell yeah!
Over 3 years, that's 54 doubles. So when you look at that OPS, he's got a lot of slugging percentage because of the total bases. And he's got power, 24 homers. That's a lot of total bases.
He was
90.
a scary hitter. He really was. Yeah, absolutely.
90 extra base hits.
Hornsby, though. Look at Hornsby's runs created per 23.
Oh
my God.
Look at this. Okay, look at this line. Now this is all, and this is everything's been scrunched, neutralized, and geared right to 1923 Sportsman. But yeah, look at that. 401, 32 home runs in that era, right?
Mm.
1923, 32 home runs was a lot.
Yeah. Another one, Johnny Mize. There's a player, Hall of Famer, that I would say a lot of people outside our, and I say our because again we both get a lot of the same people. I guarantee you, if I would go out in the YouTube sports gaming community, of course now people are going to listen to this, say, tell me about Johnny Mize. I think a lot of those guys, and I'm not knocking them, didn't know who the hell Johnny Mize was. They really wouldn't.
Yeah.
And yet, the big cat, excellent hitter. And you look at his line, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, let's look at it. 33 homers, 332 average.
Yeah.
He's over 1,000 OPS. And look, OPS plus 164. And that's a great number because it lets you know how they stack up above the 100 average after, based on their era. So that's cool stuff. I don't have any pitchers. Don't have any pitchers left for them. Chicago Cubs, I've got two. I've got Hack Wilson. Again, another high OPS. Let's take a look at his 158 OPS,
Mhm.
42 home runs.
A lot of fifths of whiskey, too.
Oh, yeah. Not a tall, but a very stocky guy. He was as wide as he was tall, I think, from looking
Yes,
at
he
the
was.
pictures here. Um,
Big Clue says something here really quickly, Steve, and it's kind of mind blowing. Major League Baseball actually goes all the way back to the Ulysses Grant administration. They're talking about presidents in there. That's
wow.
amazing.
Well, he's brought up
Yeah.
the idea of having like teams based on presidents' administrations, right? I guess
Right.
FDR's would have quite the team. He'd have the best pool, I think. Here's Wagner. Look at his OPS, 194. So these elite ones like Speaker, Cobb, Wagner, they're 190s to 200s. I haven't got Gehrig's in here. I'll be interested to see when I get Gehrig and Ruth in here, what they look like. Let's take a look. What do we got? New York Giants. Let's take a look at their. Here's some other big hitters, right? Mel Ott,
Great franchise there. Yeah, right.
Bill Terry, and some of their pitchers. These two guys. So I mentioned it before. Look at Mathewson, but because of his era, and look at that ERA plus 182, right? And remember, Waddell's was 134. So that lets you know that if you got to choose between Waddell and Mathewson, I'm probably going to select Mathewson overall. Now, Waddell can get you a lot of strikeouts, but this guy is going to be
Right.
more of a shutdown pitcher. But here's the guy. What he's right there with Mathewson with the ERA plus, and he doesn't get a lot of the love because, But look at
Well,
the
no,
numbers
right.
that him and Grove did in the numbers they had that were as good as they were in the 30s, where everybody was hitting the ball like crazy. They're underrated.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I mean, well, look what Hubble did in the 1934 All-Star game. There's your. I mean,
Yeah.
right? You talk about striking out. Not that Joe Cronin was a terribly fearsome hitter, but the other four guys. I mean, Ruth, Gehrig, Fox, and Simmons. And then he strikes out Joe Cronin also, but all in a row, right? In a row. Boom, boom,
Mhm.
boom. Hubble and Grove were beasts. Jeez. I'd take those two guys and pray for rain on any team.
Oh
It'll
yeah.
be fun. Actually, Steve, in that Phillies team you created, was it 1964, was it? That had the great hitting and really terrible
Oh, it was the
pitching?
29 to 33 or something with Klein and
Oh,
O'Doul.
no, these were, oh, yeah, right. So imagine, just as a what if, taking that Phillies team and just adding Grove and Hubble to their rotation.
Oh, yeah, they're a playoff team probably.
Exactly. Just those two pitchers.
Because now half of your starts, or 45 or 50% of your starts, you've got studs like that can keep the other bats quiet while yours work. And then here's another one, Grove, 178 ERA plus, right? And you look at it and go 2.48 ERA, man, I'm going to get Mathewson, who's got the 1 point whatever, but they're almost equivalent because you got to take a
Right.
look at the era that they put them up in. So a lot of fun. That's what I think I enjoy about it. Like in a draft league, if we were going to do a draft league with this, is the research behind it. To sit here and say, well, give me the guy with the lowest ERA. Well, that may not be it. Let's take a look at Grove and being aware that, hey, this is his line in 1931 Shibe. That's pretty darn good, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
And taking that into account. So So I've got a few of these built. I don't think I have any. Do I have any? Yeah, I've got a couple pitchers here for the Reds. No batters yet. Epirixie and Johnny Vandermeer. And you can see their ERA pluses aren't going to be 180s. 115, so he's 15 points above average for Vandermeer, right? Epirixie's a little better one, so he's right there. So Epirixie's probably right there on an equal footing ERA plus wise with Waddell.
That's
But
amazing,
Waddell's
right?
going to get you some strikeouts where,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
although Vandermeer, a little more of a strikeout pitcher, 6.7 per nine.
Double
Anyway,
no hit himself, huh? Yeah.
I could just sit here and just, I'm kind of, the one thing you have in common is we could just sit here and click on rosters and look at players. I just find it entertaining.
Right? Oh, that's so much fun.
How about this guy? Last man to legally throw a spitball.
Billy Grimes, I believe we're talking about, right?
Yep.
There he is, old Stubblebeard.
Yeah. He's right there with a Waddell at 134 ERA plus, but
Hmm
not.
Someday, guys, I promise I'll get into like 90s baseball and 80s baseball, but
Oh, no, you won't. You keep promising, but
I know. But hey, I played a game today, 80s team versus a 90s team. It was a shock, but that's because I like the heresies associated with each team. Yeah, Burley Grimes was yep, last of spitballs because they grandfathered in it, and it wasn't a spitball that killed Ray Chapman. It was a fastball. So apparently,
yes.
from what I've read, a spitball wasn't a high velocity pitch.
No. But those balls, the lighting. In fact, I watched the baseball El Professor or whatever he's called when I'm on the bike watching videos. He had a story on there on the Carl Mays Ray Chapman incident. And the balls they were throwing were basically, you might as well have just painted them with shoe polish. They're hard to see.
Yep. It is
Here's
hit
Wes
so
Farrell.
hard,
I
though,
think
they
this
thought
is,
he hit the ball, and it went out to second base. You imagine the
wow.
force behind that pitch. There's no way. Again, accounts I've read the spitball. It wasn't a high velocity pitch. So I mean, and Mays was a headhunter. So there, like, I guess there wasn't a lot of shock about it because he was a headhunter. And Chapman crowded the plate, and bang, lights out.
And he used to throw severe submarine style, way below
Yeah.
mid
Yes, he
level.
did. You're right.
Bob Feller here, 7.8 per nine, another strikeout pitcher here, right? 168 ERA. That's really good. Somebody had me build Wes Farrell. Who is it in the community that was just begging for some Wes Farrell?
Yeah, I wonder who that might be. The guy who's saying he's settling the Babe Ruth called shot argument in the
Yeah.
chat.
Well, I would trust Gehrig too. I'm a huge Gehrig fan.
Yeah.
So we got Wes
Gehrig,
Farrell in
and
there.
in fact, at that point, I don't think Gehrig and Ruth they were having a little feud. So I think that even adds more to it because Gehrig saying that Ruth did it, right? Oh no, big clue. I'm not doubting you. I want to hear it just because it would be awesome. I wasn't aware of that that audio recording because I just saw the way Gehrig said, "Well, you saw it. You know, that was the thing I'd heard." And then Ruth, with his weird kind of thing, of course, Charlie Root is gonna deny it. He said, "I would have stuck it in his ear." So, but I will look for it definitely. Thanks, Big Clue. Sorry, Steve, I didn't mean to jump.
Oh
in.
no, I'm just flipping.
Yeah.
There's Walter Johnson. What's he got? There. Okay, now we've got a picture. Look at this. His ERA plus is 201. That's the highest I've seen so far.
Johnson was again, to me, the most dominant pitcher in baseball because he never got run support and still.
And let's take a look. Where's Goslin at now? This 6.4 Ks per nine. That's pretty good. He just pitched a ton of innings.
Yeah.
And how's his batting? He's still what, like 250 hitter, I think, for these 3 years.
Yeah, he was a good hitting pitcher, Walter Johnson.
254. That's the best hitting pitcher for modern MLB baseball is going to be Wes Farrell. I didn't know that about him until I started researching everything, and then all of a sudden, come to find out, he was known as a great hitter. I think he's
didn't know that either.
Yeah, and so when I was reading the bio on him, let me pull him up. I didn't put a bio in here, but take a look at his batting. He's a 295 hitter with 3 home runs in 132 at bats. So
it is a good hitting pitcher. Damn.
Yeah.
The argument to get rid of the DH, I'm telling you. Well, we're not going to get into that right So
We got we've got Brooklyn over here. Oh, here's a couple of batters I have for Brooklyn. I have Del Bissonnet here.
I was gonna ask you if you did any Dodgers yet. So, but I mean, I saw Burley Grimes, but I meant hitters.
Yeah.
There he is, Babe Herman, and yeah, Del Bissonnet, right? There's a guy that deserves some attention.
Yeah, he had really 3 great years together, and that's the ones I'm using. So
Right.
yeah, so I don't have a lot of these. I don't have any White Sox built yet. Anyway, I've got some Yankees. I've got DiMaggio and Gehrig and who else to build in here, but I haven't touched this in a few days, but just thought I'd throw that off because I'll get a few more of these built and I'll put together here by the weekend. And we'll have a couple of a Page versus Waddell showdown with a
That
couple
would
of
be awesome.
teams built behind them to, and we can, one of us can take one and one the other and do a little head to head and show them off and test them at the same time. That's what I like to say. Have some
That would
fun,
be a
show them off,
blast.
and get some testing done and see how they play.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, I'm gonna gotta go tend to some other things. So this has been fun. I don't know how many. I haven't even checked how many. We got 10 people here. This is great.
Yeah, yeah.
If you guys just joined us, go back in and click on that link for Legend Sports Universe because I want to go back now and watch that full game he did because um, he lets the computer do it. He's doing a lot of work like what I do, but he's doing it with the ratings within the, a lot of that work that goes behind the scenes to get the ratings just right. And he's got a whole spreadsheet of formulas. So I find that super interesting. The video presentation on MLB The Show can't be beat. There's no other game that can touch that.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Um,
Steve, thank you, man. I'm going to go ahead and jump off because I do have some things I have to do as well. So, but this is awesome and looking forward to Sunday. Definitely looking forward to Sunday.
have fun, Beatles, and I'll stick around here for a minute just to say some goodbyes. And definitely will be in touch with this sound thing being fixed. Has got me pretty pumped up.
Right, superb. Take care, everybody.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
We'll see ya. So Beatles joined us on Discord, having typical fun. Thanks, Robbie. And yeah, just came on here. A couple of things I'm happy with. You guys that joined me a couple of days ago, I had the walk-up music was way too loud in the game, and I sent that off to Dave Cook with Action PC, and and just before I went on live here, he sent me a patch to try, and I tried it, and it's great. Now the slider will actually work and let me minimize that and manage the sound. Then Beatles and I talked a little bit about how you could even pull up some sounds during the game and trigger them to entertain yourself and then add them into the custom sounds here. If people don't know, you go up to setup, hit custom sounds. I've got all these extra ones that I've downloaded. Go grab them if it interests you. And then now I'm going around here and just trying to make the like the organ music be different versus just the APC one. So this will keep me busy along with other things for a while, tweaking the sounds. Now I've got my brain spinning. I'm like, oh, PS5. Do I want to? Because yeah, Legend Sports Universe is doing some really cool things. Do I want to explore that? It's like, oh, I don't have enough time to do all this. And I'm cranking out players in the Negro League project, and I'm up to 93 built. I've got number 94 ready to go. So I know I'm going to cross over the 100 done this weekend sometime. So looking forward to that. And then at the same time, going over and plugging along some MLB Great so that we can do some cross testing and all that. So just plugging away. So it's been fun chatting. I'm going to have to go hunt down what Big Clues put in here on the Gehrig testimony as far as the called shot. That would be fun, kind of fun to hear for sure. But thank you guys for showing up with MV and Robbie, and Big Clue was here. We had Arnold popped in. Of course, Beatles was here with me. Legend Sports Universe was here, and Sports Time Machine. World's Worst Gamer was here. So Forever Remain 90 here. Looking at a lot of the regulars showing up here for what's for me a kind of a middle to late afternoon time frame. But thanks for joining, and I'll catch you down the road in a future live show. And definitely we'll get some information out on Discord because I know Beatles and I will connect this weekend sometime and do that head-to-head, another Negro League MLB Great matchup. So we'll see you in the future.